Today we have a fan request, the history of Sembia. This country draws a lot of interest due to the recent fights between the Godborns of Mask and the Dark Lady's plan to destroy Toril. Thankfully, the Dark Lady's plan did not succeed, and Sembia as well as Faerun is still here. Our speaker today is a local Sembian historian. He grew up in the port city of Saloon and agreed to tell me the history of his land.
The land of Sembia was settled by humans coming from the Sea of Fallen Stars from the south, and was originally chosen for its stands of huge, high-quality liverwoods timber so prized in shipbuilding. However, as the forests were cleared over the years, the tree cutters came into increasing conflict with elves, who feared the loss of their entire wood. A war almost broke out after a hastily gathered mercenary army was defeated by the elves at Singing Arrows in 884 DR. The loss of this battle convinced distant Chondath to abandon its holdings in the region and allows Sembia to establish its independence. While still not a clear country, it grew strong as farms prospered in the newly cleared forest. Craftsmen arrived from the south, looking for a chance to acquire land and wealth, bringing their trades with them. The now fabled leader, Rothavir the Raven, unified the city-states in the face of the continuing elven menace. He insisted on maintaining a standing army, which he kept in practice by policing Sembia's borders and improving its roads. Under the Raven's rule, Sembia became a true nation in 913 DR. The Moonsea's mineral wealth was discovered by humans at this time, and pressure began to grow for a trade road through the elven lands to make Sembia the gateway to these riches. The Raven went alone as an envoy to the elven court. There, he asked the elders of their council to approve a road, open to humans, linking Sembia to the shores of the Dragon Sea. Raven proposed that the elves choose the route and retain control of it and the woods around it, so that no woodcutting or human settlement would occur. Earlier elves had made similar arrangements with the Dalesmen and had no difficulty with the concept of such an agreement. However, the inhabitants of Harrowdale refused the proposal, not wanting or needing such a road at that time. The elves, not wishing to offend longtime allies, refused Raven's request. Rebuffed, the Raven threatened to exterminate the isolated elves in Amathoi, the last embattled remnant of elven Sembia, if the elven court did not cooperate. The elves, under duress, finally agreed, and Sembia's financial future was secured. Hillsfar, on the shores of the Dragon Sea, became a commercial meeting ground between humankind and elves, as did Elventree. The route the elves chose ran past the base of the Standing Stone as a reminder of earlier, less hostile dealings between humans and elves. Over the years, the elves of Amathoi came north to join their brethren, or slipped away to seek Evermeet, leaving their woods to gradually disappear. Sembia, growing rich on the trade the road provided, soon saw the merchants take more political power. Laws that now only affected the poor were put in place, and contracts soon meant more than morals. A farmer down on their luck could now sign an agreement with a landowner that made him and his kin indentured servants for generations to come. While technically not slavery, most people would need a Thayan slave merchant to explain the details on how they differ in practice. With the return of Netheril, Sembia was targeted for acquisition by the Shadowvar. Trade and communications were established initially, and when a civil war broke out, Netheril provided support for one side in return for very favorable agreements after the war. Netheril never claimed ownership over Sembia. It always respected Sembia's independence. It instead ruled through High Lord Femelon Oskeverin II, a local Sembian merchant noble who was backed by Netheril during the Civil War. He willingly embraced the Netheril way and was a perfect candidate for the Shadowvar backing. Netheril kept its second city, Succors, in Sembia, as well as a well-trained army that it would use against aggressive nations that tried to claim ownership of land that belonged to Sembia. In recent times, Netheril has fallen in power. Both their flying cities have been destroyed, and a large part of their noble class has died. Due to this, Sembia has fallen back into old ways. Merchants have retaken a lot of the power that Netheril had. Under Netherese rule, slavery was banned, and humanitarian efforts were put in place. There was food distribution among the poor, and harsh punishment of crimes. Now, food is for those who can pay for it, and crime is something that is only done by those who cannot afford the bribe.
And that concludes our history of Sembia. I wanted to highlight another storyteller that I think you might all like, Dungeon Life. It is a channel dedicated to giving an insight into the people who make Dungeons & Dragons, a topic I think a lot of my listeners would be interested in. Have a look at this video and leave him a comment that says I sent you. This is highly appreciated.